quickly ask you, will you work with us on the issue of local slaughterhouses based on the health code violations?
Yeah, so the health department will continue to work with any concerned advocates as we
you'll
do.
meet with us.
The department is happy to continue the conversation. I think, we've been in touch
Sure.
multiple times.
There's a lot to unpack here.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you realize that. Thank
Absolutely.
you. I represent an organization called Slaughter Free Chicago, which is everyone else here as well. Since the last meeting, we reviewed CDPH's food code rules, and there's a couple of things that I'd like to draw to your attention. Section 10-10110 of sanitary requirements for live poultry of the Food Rules Code states that birds must be kept, quote, healthy, clean, and in good condition, end quote, at Chicago slaughterhouses. But it looks like the CDPH inspectors are not finding what we find every single time that we go into one of these facilities. We find diseased, dead, injured birds living in crates, overcrowded, filthy crates with other birds, and it's a hellhole. Every time we see it, it's the same thing. So we think that your inspectors are not finding this, or they're either incompetent or they're blind to what's happening here. And we don't know what to do about it, except to bring it to your attention and tell you that we have a lot of evidence, which we urge CDPH and the city in general to consider in their investigations of these businesses, which are, from our perspective, are bad for animals, for workers, for communities, and for the planet. And something needs to be done about that. And we have lots of evidence. We have a lot of testimony, images, footage that we could bring forth to help an investigation, particularly when it comes to the health code issues.
My name is Jodie Wiederkehr. I'm here today on behalf of Slaughter Free Chicago and the Chicago Alliance for Animals. Section 7-28-710 state of the Health Nuisances Code is entitled Dumping Prohibited. It states, it shall be unlawful for any person to place, leave, dump, or permit to accumulate any garbage or trash in any building, structure, or premises of any dead animals of any kind. Yet, Chicago slaughterhouses routinely dump dead animals and body parts. We have photos and video footage of carcasses and blood, overflowing dumpsters, blood draining into the sewer. So it's clear that these slaughterhouses are not following Chicago's law and Chicago's health code. It also states in this section, any person who violates this section shall be fined not less than $300 for each offense. Each day is a separate offense. And it also clearly states that slaughterhouses are not excluded. So again, we've got the evidence. We have seen this. And if an inspector, a Department of Health inspector goes right after the garbage is picked up, they might not witness this. But if one goes perhaps on an off hour, perhaps on a weekend, they are likely to find what we are finding. So this is something we wanted to bring to your attention, and we do hope that you'll take very seriously.
So I just want to recap, there's three points to our argument here. The first is that CDPH is allowing these slaughterhouses to routinely run afoul of the laws of its own food rules code for poultry slaughterhouses. Number two, the timing of CDPH inspections and the competency of the inspectors, we don't know about. But who are these people? What are their qualifications? Are they veterinarians? I highly doubt it. Are they going to be able to attest to the condition of birds that is required by the law? So we need to know more about that. But if this department was willing to work with us, with our advocacy group, they could find what we're finding. So we're asking, again, that our evidence be entered into any kind of investigation that CDPH does.
And I just want to read a statement from someone who could not be here today because she is sick. She recently witnessed some of these violations firsthand. So I'm just reading her statement that she sent to me. As I walked past the counter, past the kill room, past the supply room, where a sickly looking chicken was roaming between empty crates, and into the back room where the live animals, and some already dead, were kept in filthy, cramped cages flushed to the walls. There were several birds roaming around outside the cages, eating and drinking from the puddles of blood, feces, and urine on the floor. There were dead birds in cages among the living, with most of the living birds showing signs of illness and injury. While customers stood in the hall and back room with the animals, waiting for their turn to take home dead bodies of these individuals, the customers came into close contact with workers whose aprons were covered with fresh blood as they wheeled live birds past them in plastic garbage cans, which the workers used to hold the birds over and slit their throats. I walked out of this slaughterhouse with a mixture of blood, feces, urine, feathers, and flesh on my shoes. I carried unknown bacterium with me into my vehicle and then into my home. Not only did I put myself and my family at risk of zoonotic diseases, but I could have carried them into the neighboring businesses as well. There's more to that. I'll leave it at that. But in a nutshell, these are not sanitary places. The health codes are not being enforced, and Chicago's laws are being broken.
So I'm just going to leave you guys with a little bit of footage of what she was just explaining. This is one of the slaughterhouses and what it looks like inside. I mean, they're literally dragging birds around in garbage cans and slaughtering them over garbage cans. They're not even using the right materials or equipment that slaughterhouses are expected to use. They grab the birds and they slit their throats. It's about as crude as could possibly be. Look at the condition of this place. How can this pass inspection? I can't see how it possibly pass inspection.
And dumping dirty animals and slaughtering them over plastic dumpsters is a violation of Chicago's law.
So, keep in mind, these are 6-week-old birds as well. They're babies. And they're being treated like worse than garbage. And I know you don't regulate animal welfare issues, but those conditions, you can regulate. The health code conditions can cover some of this. So thank you very much.
Thank you
for hearing us. We would like to get an answer, if possible, from you, if our evidence can be entered into your inspections or investigations. The law department, we were told the law department has to be involved, and that's fine. But that was said last month, so it's been a month since then. Has anything been found out about that?
To the best of my knowledge, no.
Okay.
Certainly, there are minutes kept of these meetings, and they are a public record, and public comments are also included as part of the meetings. Are there any comments or questions from the board regarding this?
Obviously, you collect a lot of data. Have you submitted evidence to the Department of Health? A binder with the video that you've accumulated, the times and places?
Well, we feel that it's best for Commissioner Allwady to give us a meeting so that we can properly present this material.
But you haven't submitted any.
Well, yes, some, but just to kind of, we've submitted not everything, but we would be happy to do so. But it requires some explanation. We can't just throw this stuff at somebody, We have to explain how it's organized and, what it means. So we're happy to share everything that we've collected over the last couple of years.
But you have sent things to the department, yes?
Yeah.